What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. In today's video, we're going to be talking about this champion chase that just dropped last night, and it's a little bit of a surprise, to be honest. So we're going to take a look at it right now. You see here the champion chase. My initial plan, if you guys watched my fusion plan, was to skip the champion chase followed by the second summon rush. So if you look on the calendar here, we have the champion chase active during this sacred boost. It is 2x sacreds right now, so you do get a double chance at pulling legendaries from sacred shards. Although it's not the best shard to pull during champion chase, regardless if it's boosted or not. So we see the champion chase there. And then I was going to skip the summon rush the next following week. So my plan was to skip both and then focus on the secret, I guess, summon rush, the third summon rush that's happening, but they don't actually have it listed, which is interesting in the calendar. So even though the fusion calendar, they gave us the third summon rush already, it's immediately after the second summon rush. They don't have it here on the Plarium calendar, which is interesting and very suspect because we were thinking that the third summon rush would line up with maybe a Titan event or something else. But in any event, what's happening here for this champion chase is that they're putting the relic materials up for grabs during this champion chase. Now, if you guys don't know what these are or what these do, these relics are specific to this Alice Adventure event only. So you can't get them otherwise. Okay, so my group is pretty much unwinnable. Like, this is kind of insane. But anyways, guys, if you guys are just going for the fusion, make sure you guys pick up the 1550 here for the fragment. Ultimately, 1550, if you're going to pay for it with sacred shards, is not that much of a miss. Considering that sacred shards are roughly about 280 champion chase points on a boosted event. So you can expect to spend about 5.5 sacred shards for this 25 fragments here. So roughly about the same as a summon rush. If you get lucky, you might save maybe half a sacred shard, for example. So it's not the end of the world. If you get really unlucky, then it's not good. Because if you get really unlucky and you get no legendaries, you're basically paying like over 6 sacreds for this piece, which is, you know, obviously a little bit expensive if you were to use the sacred shards for a summon rush, like a normal one, for example, but not too expensive. So it's still reasonable to use it in this event with 2x boosted sacred shards. But is it worthwhile to go for these relics? You know, these relic pieces are only going to show up in event. So far, this Alice Adventure event, so we'll have more opportunities to go for this, but keep in mind these relics. Okay, let's talk about the relics real quick here. Go to relic crafting. You can have pretty good info here, right? So you can go to, this is the event relics. So we have the cat's gaze here. Now this is pretty insane. This is an insane relic. Like, on first read, I remember I read this. You know, I read this a couple days before it launched, and I was like, is this for real? Like, this is so good. This doesn't make any sense at how good it is. And all the bonuses are good. Like, and when you level it up, it's really good. So the wearer ignores 10% of the target's defense when attacking enemies with higher max HP. So if you have, like, you know, a damage dealer, most likely, you know, most supports will have higher HP than your damage dealer. Therefore, you'll ignore an additional 10%. Just like that, guys. Easy 10%. Put this guy on your damage dealer. Boom, he starts smacking. And then we have this epic one. It's not as good. The Hatter's Reserve. Wearers receive 5% less damage from enemies whose attack is lower than the wearer. So this might be good against, like, non-attack based damage dealers. Like, you'll just receive less damage from them, maybe. Also inflicts 5% more damage to enemies whose max HP is lower than the wearer's. Again, pretty interesting. You could probably put this on, for example, like an HP based damage dealer, and then you'll start doing more damage to potentially some champions that have less HP than you. So it's a little bit more situational, but it's still not too bad. Anyways, those are the crafts. So what's happening here is that they're event specific. But the thing is that we need to be aware of is that these event craft relics, they're only going to be 50% chance of getting them. So right now I'm just using the regular Chimera materials, and then I'm only going to get a 50% chance at getting the Chimera relics. if I were to use event materials, I will only have a 50% chance of getting the event relics. So keep that in mind, guys. It's actually multiple layers of RNG. So you are spending shards. Let's say you're spending shards and you're going to try to pick up this 5,500 threshold, which will probably cost you on average 5,500 divided by 280, sorry, which is going to cost you what? 20 sacred shards. If you're pulling all sacred shards for this 2x event, on average, you're spending almost 20 sacred shards to pick this up. Sacred shards, like I said, guys, is not the best, even when boosted, not the best shard to use for champion chase. So you have to have something else to go with it, right? And pulling other shards like ancient shards, void shards, primal shards, whatever. You're pulling other shards with non-boosted rates during a champion chase. It's just not super efficient. Obviously, mystery shards are good. So if you have tons of mystery shards, go for it. There's a champion training tournament event going on right now. But yeah, it's a huge sink. It's 19 sacred shards for this. You know, and it's not even for a guarantee anything. That's the thing. You're not even guaranteed to get this legendary relic at all. So you're not guaranteed to get anything. You're getting a chance to get this. Yes, if you get this, it's huge. But if you don't, you know, you have to basically win the 50-50 coin flip. And then there must be a and then there's a distribution of mythical and legendary versus epic distribution in terms of chance. So here I found a spreadsheet on Reddit. It's a bunch of data here, but basically it shows the different combinations of the legendary, rare, and epic materials. So depending what kind of configuration you put into the, you know, the forge, you're going to get a chance of getting the, you know, epic, legendary, mythical, whatever rarity, right? So if you don't get legendary or higher, then you're going to be out of luck trying to get that legendary cat relic. So it's a massive gamble. Like you have to put, okay, so let's say you get all like legendary material in the champion chase. If you go for legendary configuration, right? Legendary, 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 you have a 39.5% chance of getting a legendary or higher relic, but you have to flip a coin whether you get the event relic or you get 50% of the standard stuff. So you can get 50% of this stuff, or you can get 50% of the relic. And then on top of that, you only have a 39.5% chance, 40% chance of getting a mythical or legendary, relic. So if you win the coin flip, it's only 40-60 for you to get either the epic, which is, you know, mid, or really good. So 2 coin flips to try to get this, you know, like it's pretty wild. And you're spending all legendary tokens, right? You're spending all legendary tokens. You have one craft. If you go for the 100, I think it's only one craft, right? Because you only have 100 piece here. Yeah, just an example here. If I'm putting in like 4 of the slots, they cost 25 each. Yeah, you have one shot at a coin flip and then a 40% coin flip. So it's not even as good as not even as good as 2 coin flips. It's slightly worse than 2 coin flips. Mathematically, that only gives you about 30% chance at hitting that Lego relic for the event. So it's a pretty big gamble. It's a pretty big cost, to be honest. It's 20 sacred shards potentially. Of course, you know, you mix and match whatever shards and pulls you guys got. About 20 sacred shards for this. Is for one pull. It's about 30% chance for getting the Lego. It's, you know, it's a pretty big gamble, but it's a huge boost if you can get it. Of course, it's just easy stats, right? Like it's the easiest 10% ignore defense you could have. Like you could get. Think about how hard it is to get the ignore defense, but the cost is quite great. And then keep in mind that the 100 epic pieces are probably not worth getting. So if you're totally out of the ballpark for this 5,500, just feel good about picking up the fusion and chill out, because the epic is probably not really worth getting. And if you're not going for the fusion, then just chill out. There's no big deal, right? Either way. Personally, I think I'm probably going to go get it just because I'm kind of flush with sacred shards and shards in general. Like, for example, here I got 75 sacred shards on my second account. It's just I've just been using them really efficiently. I've been using mystery shards. I basically use like as little shards as I can when completing fusions and stuff. And then over the past year or 10 months or so, it's just been stacking up. And I haven't really had a situation where I've gotten really, really unlucky. Like, for example, like pulling like 30 sacred shards before I hit my 1+1 or something weird like that. Haven't had that last year in 2024. So that's why definitely a big surplus here. On my main account, I have about 60, so both accounts are just pretty flush with sacred shards, so I don't mind pulling a bit, and I'll probably supplement it a bit with maybe some fragments here or there. I think I wanted to pull somebody to play with. Maybe I wanted to pull Bells here just to play with him on this account. But yeah, so that's going to be the plan for me. I think ultimately players must decide whether they want to go for the fusion and how they can handle these events. So if you skip this champion chase, it's actually just completely fine. You're just missing out on the relics. But if your plan was to skip the champion chase and the summon rush, which was my initial plan, and then just focus on this summon rush, you're only really missing out on the relics. It's not going to kill you to skip this champion chase. Like, you're missing out on a chance for the relics actually. So you probably still stay the course, because the prize, the guaranteed prize at the end will be that you complete the fusion and you will be able to participate in whatever happens here, which is probably going to be, like a 5-star soul for the fusion, for example, right? It could be part of a bigger Titan event, for example, which seems to be the case, right? Because the Alice Adventure campaign is going to last till March. It's going to be a lot of stuff happening. It could be, maybe even, it could be a Titan event for something, for the cat. It could be a Titan event for the 5-star soul. It could be whatever. It could be anything, right? So if the relic doesn't appeal to you, just let it go. Just let it go. Just focus on what you guys are doing. Anyways, guys, that's it for me today. Hopefully you guys have a great Friday. Thank you so much for watching. I know you guys are looking for a little bit of guidance. Here it is. Hopefully it's helpful for you guys and gives you guys a little bit of perspective on how much of a gamble this relic stuff is in this game. Of course, it's a big power boost if you get lucky, but it's a big gamble, guys. Anyways, thanks for watching again. Appreciate your time as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video.